going on, Wolfpack Nation? Thank you so much again for tuning back in here with us again. This is technically part 4 of our interview here with Jarius Morehead. Again, if you haven't checked out part 3 to explain why it is part 4, then check out there first. And then after that, check out parts 1 and 2 as well. As again, we talk more NC State football during parts 1 and 2. And then we also talk about Jarius's journey, at least started his journey after NC State football into the NASCAR world. So basically left off Jarius, now you've, learned you got the job at Hendricks, started the onboarding process, getting rocking and rolling. So tell me about the first time that, you got told that you were going to be a tire changer. So tell me about the first time that, you went to, change a tire. I mean, were you a natural at it, or were you terrible at it the first time you picked it up? What was that whole experience like the first time changing a tire?
I wouldn't say I came natural, but it came easier after like a week or two. Started getting a feel of what's going on, and coach we like our rear change to be left-handed, and with the new guns, it's pretty much I would say like 10. I would say like 8 pounds. The gun is filling, and with the left hand, I have never did anything left-handed. So I was like, the coaches want left-handed, so I guess I'm gonna have to do it, So I just work my butt off and learn how to do it left-handed. And after I say like 3 weeks or a month, I started getting it down packed and moving with the older guys. So it was like, so I guess I picked up fast.
No kidding.
But you may have just answered it, but I'm sure there was a lot of tough things you had to learn. Like, what was the hardest part? Was it, changing a tire left-handed?
I think going through the process again, because pretty much you're a rookie again at this sport. Even if you're like picking up quick and real good at stuff, it's still a process. God's been here for like 15 years, 10 years. It's a vet sport, so the vet gotta play his role, and everybody got roles again. And like I said, you're pretty much a rookie again.
Yep.
Right.
And because talk about that too. So what's the typical career look like for a pit crew person? I mean, basically how long on average is a typical average pit crew careers person? Pit crews person.
I met a lot of guys that have been here for not at Hendricks, but have been in NASCAR for like 20 plus years. It's a sport that you can last a long time in. I think that's why a lot of guys love the sport, because it's not a lot of toll on your body, and you can last, like I said, for a pretty long time. So I would say by like 8 plus, honestly.
Wow. Okay. And then also too, I mean, obviously I don't need you to sit here and tell me exactly what you're making, but I mean, what's like, I mean, I'm sure I could probably Google it, but I'd rather just ask you. I mean, how does it typically do, for, pay wise for a career, for a pit crew person? I mean, I'm sure that probably, obviously when you're with the big leagues, the NASCAR Cup Series, I'm sure you get paid more than if you're in Xfinity or Truck Series. But I mean, how does that work? And I mean, like right now, I mean, how's it going pay wise?
Good. I could say if you at Hendrick, Penske, or Joe Gibbs, you are very, very set. Especially if you are good with your coaches. A lot of guys, if you save your money, you can probably. No, I wouldn't say probably. You will make more than a guy in a league that played in for like 3 years. You probably make more than him if you keep your money like smart and don't just splurge. So, and like I said, you can last in this sport for a long time. So it's very, very good money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean, do you pinch yourself ever so often thinking about man, like 2 years ago, NASCAR wasn't even a thought in your head. You probably didn't even know what NASCAR stood for. And then here you are, loving NASCAR, being dang, I want to do this long term. Because it's all, again, I've been a NASCAR fan my whole life. So then you thinking back in my head, man, that's a cool job. I'm traveling all over the world, seeing, a really cool sport, which is honestly, I always say, that people that hate on NASCAR, I always say, watch a NASCAR race in person first before you really judge it. Because seeing it in person is
pretty much
it's insane. Different. Seeing how
100%.
Oh, it's 1,000% different. You
Yeah.
Now I will say that I think NASCAR's done a better job on TV of really trying to explain to like the beginner like kind of what's really going on. But still, I mean like the noise and like the scene, the actual speed, it's insanity. And then also to the travel, you go all across the country, to all these different racetracks. So yeah, no, it's so I mean, would you say, I mean, now that you've really experienced it, I mean, would you agree with me? I'm sure that, I mean, you said you love it, but I mean, just tell it to me, man. I mean, it's do you agree with me? It's one of
Oh,
the
most
coolest jobs
definitely.
out there.
The only downfall of the job is if you travel 39 weeks in a row. But at the end of the day, every week you are traveling
Wow.
to a
Yeah.
different state, and yeah, you fly, you get to see everything. You get to go out, you get to go explore. Like it's not you can't beat the job, and then you only practice for probably like 2 or 3 times a week because you're traveling Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, or maybe Friday through Sunday. So it's pretty much like
Right.
each week it go by fast, So
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then let me ask you a two-parter. So first of all, kind of basically, where are you at right now? And then, do you like, does like pit crews like jump around a little bit from like one driver to the other, or are you basically like loyal to
So
like
pretty
one
much,
driver?
Hendrix got 4 cup teams. Like for Hendrix, it's 5, 9, 24, and 48. So there's already teams for that.
Mm-hmm.
So for a truck series, you pretty much freelance. Everybody freelances, or you get like a truck for a Hendrix. But pretty much like 90% everybody freelance. And then on Saturday for Xfinity, there's 2 teams. JD, it's like a junior motorsports, and then there's like a JRM, which they're like the real deal type deals. So majority of our cup guys pit that, and then like a backup team pits that, and then some team buy
Mm-hmm.
Hendrix pit crews so we can pit their cars. So our 2 backup cars are 7 and 77, and now we got
Wow.
44. This is a New York racing one, and that's what majority of the Devo guys pit that, and then like the 7 to 77, they pit backup guys pit that. So everybody's like pitting on all 3 days. So it's love.
Before we continue, I want to take a quick second to tell you about our sponsor, Flatlands Jessup Insurance Group, that has your whole world covered, with agents in 5 offices throughout eastern North Carolina to help you decide how much coverage you need. Offering policies for home and auto, recreational vehicles, commercial, crop, health, life, and employee benefits. They are able to combine options to find a comprehensive solution that works for you. Flatlands Jessup protects the things you love so you can spend less time worrying and more time enjoying them. Find them on Facebook and Instagram at Flatlands Jessup. You can also visit their webpage at www.flatlandsjessup.com. So please make sure to go and check them out. Dang, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And so, talking to a little bit, I mean, we were talking a little bit, beforehand or at the end of last part, saying, I'm sure you've met live celebrities. And obviously, I mean, with Hendrix, I know that, one of the things I know being a NASCAR fan is Jeff Gordon's a partial owner in Hendrix. And I mean, he's up there with probably some of the biggest names in NASCAR with the Dale Earnhardts, with you name it, he's up there in terms of name wise.
Most
Everybody
definitely.
knows Jeff Gordon. And so, I mean, like, so I mean, like, I mean, do you have any like meeting these like the Jimmy Johnsons or the Jeff Gordons or the Rick Hendricks? Like, do you have any? I mean, have you met those guys? And then do you have any like funny stories about meeting them? I mean, like, did you know like how big they were when
No,
you first met them?
I've seen them. I've seen the NASCAR drivers. They are really tiny. I would say that. I say the most they're like a buck 35 at most. They're real
Yeah.
short. They're like 5'5" short. But I have not met anybody
Yeah.
crazy in NASCAR. I mean, I seen Chase Elliott, Kyle Lawson.
Okay.
Every time I see him, I'm like, good luck today or something like that. But nothing too crazy. Met Bubba Wallace last week, and where was Richmond?
Nice.
And then on pit road, you just see all types of celebrities other than NASCAR drivers. So it's like, it's crazy. You see a lot of people. A lot of people come to NASCAR races, and I didn't even know that.
Have you met the King? Have you seen the King?
Nah, I haven't. No, I haven't.
Richard Petty? Oh man, yeah, no, that dude's the goat. Yeah, no, and and also too, I know you didn't kind of really touch on this, but so where are you at right now? Are you so I know you said
Oh,
you're
okay.
freelancing, but I mean, like, do you freelance like in the truck series, and then you like like
So on
Like, where are you at
Fridays,
in
like
that?
truck series, I'm with the 30 truck. It's Tate Fogelman. He's a 30. He's a young driver. On Sports Motorsports. That's what their business is called. Pit that. On Saturday for Xfinity, I usually pit the 4 or 6. That's the Junior Motorsports or JD Motorsports, and usually, like I said, like the 4 or 6, and I know his last name Fergus. And then on Sunday when we do Cup, I do the 44, and that's I think his last name is Biddle. I think he's just an old driver that came out of retirement and he drives a 44 for New York Racing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good deal, man. Sounds like a busy week
Almost
for you,
definitely.
no doubt, between
Yeah,
practicing
it's a
and
busy
and
weekend.
pitting all those races. So, and then like so when you get judged or evaluated, what's the? I mean, like I know it all
Mhm.
comes down to time, really. At the end of the day, I mean, I saw pit crews comes down to how fast you can get the car pitted, change tires, and all that jazz. So, I mean, like I know it goes way beyond that. I mean, obviously, especially if it's a career like yours. I mean, any way you can shave off 100th of a second, I'm sure that's what they're talking about. So I mean, like how are they evaluating, and like what does a typical conversation go like when you talk to your
Pretty
kid?
much. For like I said, I've been here since October. That's like what 4 or 5 months or
Yep.
3. I honestly don't know. Not even keeping up. So pretty much they just want to see
Yeah.
like the Devo
Yeah.
guys if they can pick up what the vets are teaching them. How fast are you picking up the techniques and well the other guys are telling you. Are you coachable? Are you learning? How you carry yourself, the little details that they ask to do, that they look at that. Like I said, it's like pretty much like football. The details, how you carry yourself. So
Perfect.
that's all they really look for.
I love it. Love it. And obviously it's an interesting road for sure. It's an exciting one. So, but I mean, because I know the
Mhm.
season really just started here. So, but I mean, like, do you have like because do you have like a cool race? I know there's only a few racetracks you've been to so far. So, but I mean, like, is there one that stands out to you the most that you thought was the
I just
coolest
think
that
the
you've been
West
to so
Coast. So
far?
that was Las Vegas, Arizona, and Cali. Just because all 3 of those had
Yeah.
mountains behind them. And it was like a beautiful scenery in the back of it, and yeah, that was probably the nicest one. But Daytona's a real big one too.
Hmm. And one last thing I wanted to ask you about too is I know one thing with NASCAR from being my fan is the rules are
Mhm.
they're very specific, and they're I mean, like even the slightest bit of getting off the rail or the barrier early, can cost the driver a lap, which then they can be basically life or death for the race. So I mean, I'm sure you're probably still learning the rules, honestly, but I mean, like, what's that process been like, learning the rules, and I mean, it's crazy, how like just the
Mhm.
tiniest bit of movement too early can cost the driver the
Yeah, so
race.
pretty
It's
much I'm
ridiculous.
learning a lot. I think my first race ever in NASCAR, I think I learned a lot. It wasn't been a smooth little race. It was hectic. I probably got everything in that one race, and like for me, I'm always the person that asks questions, especially if I don't know. If I want to know, I'm gonna ask a question, even if it's like 100 questions. I'm gonna ask. So now I'm trying to learn as quick as possible and learn
Hmm.
everything that I can, and you know.
Yep, that's right. Love it. Well, and Jarius, I guess we'll kind of wrap this thing up on is I know obviously again it's awesome to hear that it's found a life outside of football, which I mean I think all of us would love to see you in the pros with the Russell Wilsons and the future Icky and the Joe Toonies of the world for sure. But I mean hey, it's cool to to see a pack pro in the NASCAR world, so that's awesome. Um, well, thank you so much again, Jarius. Really do appreciate your time, and again, thank you so much for coming back on with us, brother. Talk NASCAR, man, and I know for me as a NASCAR fan, and I mean, I think pretty much a lot of state fans, for sure. I mean, if you're in North Carolina, you got to be at least
Yeah.
somewhat of a NASCAR fan. This is the
Definitely.
birthplace of NASCAR, so.
Hmm.
But again, thank you so much for your time, man. I really do appreciate you coming back on with us.
Come back, like I said, the second time, and I appreciate y'all having me having good conversations, catching up with y'all.
That's right, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Glad to do it. Well, thank you all so much again for tuning back in here again for part 4 of our interview with Jarius Morehead. And make sure, again, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out when we release new NC State content. Give us a follow, Tuffy Talk Now on Twitter, Instagram, and give this video a like so that way more YouTube put this in front of more NC State fans. But as always, go back, y'all. We'll see y'all soon.